Welcome everyone to the 2023 Conscious Leadership and Ethics Summit. Consciousness is something that every leader of an organization, and in the main, on our planet today, organizations are limited liability companies in order to limit the liability of the providers of capital. And from the middle of the 19th century until today, we followed the dictum of the primacy of the shareholder on the false premise that the shareholders were the owners of the company. Well, it was a myth, because you cannot own the assets of the company. It's the company's own assets. And a lot of directors, the majority of directors, ran companies on the basis to increase the wealth of shareholders, on the hypothesis that the wealth would trickle down to the impoverished at the bottom. The trickle became treacle and stuck at the top. And by the turn into the 21st century, it was realized that this philosophy had not worked. By 1987, we knew that planet Earth had become degraded. And in fact, the profit of the majority of companies was being subsidized by society and the environment. Now, that's the difference between right and wrong. And that's why leaders have to be conscious leaders. They have to distinguish between right and wrong. And the company, the limited liability company, is a person in law, but it is incapacitated as a 3-year-old child who unfortunately is injured in a motor car accident and is incapacitated of mind. He or she cannot think, and the guardian of that child has to think for it. The same goes for a company. The company can't think, it's got no mind, it's got no conscience because it has no heart, it has no feelings. The directors of a company become the heart, mind, and conscience of that company. So by definition, because a company is incapacitated, that when something goes wrong, the wrath of society should not turn against the company, but should turn against its corporate leaders, who are its conscious leaders. And being ethical, they know the difference between right and wrong, a conscious, ethical leader. And so it was Brenda Carley who actually brought to the highways of our mind, instead of being in the byways of our mind, this question of consciousness, that we need to be conscious directors because we are the conscience of the company. And it's interesting that over the years that the conscious company has been running under the leadership of Brenda, that we don't, I include myself in it because I was with Brenda when it was founded, we don't solicit nominations for the Conscious Company of the Year. We invite people to submit and nominate their companies if they believe, as the individuals, as the directors steering the company, that they have done it in a conscious and ethical manner. And what happens is Brenda meets with these people, interrogates them, and then the judges, of which I am one, we look at these companies and see how they've been operating and come to the conclusion whether they are conscious and ethical companies. And of course, when something goes wrong, we have to look at how the conduct of behavior of its corporate leaders. As I said, the ostracizing by society or bringing harm to the company by not buying its goods is actually the wrong punishment. Because when something goes wrong, it's the directors who have steered the company in the wrong direction. And as I've said, the wrath of society must turn against those individuals. So conscious leadership is a critical issue, so much so that I have ensured, to the best of my ability around the world, that in MBAs, the question of conscious leadership is now being taught. And every director has to be a conscious corporate leader, knowing the difference between right and wrong. And the conscious leader, of course, must also be aware of corporate sins. The conscious leader, being the mind of the company, has to take risk for reward. That's why the trustees of your pension fund invest your money in the equity of the company, because you get a better return than leaving it in the money market. But a director, knowing the difference between right and wrong, being a conscious and ethical leader, doesn't filch for himself or herself a corporate opportunity. There's no self-interest. They cross the Rubicon of intellectual honesty and honestly apply their minds in the best long-term interests of this incapacitated entity, the company, which is the most important citizen in every country in the world. So welcome to the summit and enjoy your day. Thank you.